shortening the learning curve. Like, all of our students are going way faster than you and I ever went. This is one of the big reasons why. It's just getting this right out of the gate. Like, we wasted a lot of ad spend back in the day, my friend, running to one campaign, all the keywords were in there and hoping for the best. And even when I, learned the funnel backwards, which kind of worked, still wasting a lot of money. Welcome to the Dropship Podcast, where you'll learn how to build and grow a high-ticket dropshipping business and hear stories from successful e-commerce entrepreneurs. Let's kick this thing off. Hey, welcome to the Dropship Podcast. And today we're going to say 3 mistakes we made in high-ticket dropshipping so you don't have to. Number one, right out of the gates, John, I'm gonna call my own. I used to have a course teaching Google AdWords back in the day, and at that point I thought I had it figured out, and to a point I did. From where we started, where there was zero fucking guidance on how to do this stuff, I really did, but I was doing the funnel backwards. So even from that point I learned something. But when I realized to turn it around, I was shoving all the good terms to high and then just negating all the crap and making that funnel all the way down, instead of starting with the crap and funneling the good stuff, which was way easier, which is how we teach it now. But man, I got it wrong. And I feel bad. There's the course we came from is still teaching it that way. It's not even the way I learned how to do it, slightly wrong. It's just not taught well at all. We get tons and tons of people coming from that course and other courses over to our course to learn how to do Google AdWords right. I think Matt Gemkow, shout out to him at the live event. He wanted to talk about some further stuff, some super advanced stuff. I think people are taking this a step further. I know we did it at the golf company as well, but I will say I got it wrong in the beginning. I'm shocked we made sales before we understood how to actually set up this funnel the correct way. How long were you running ads before you saw the infamous Nike video that explained to you how to run the 3-tier system correctly?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Possibly 12 months, I'd say. It might have been a little bit less, but it was probably around that. Yeah, I mean, I started out with just a single Google shopping campaign, and everything was in there because that's what I got told to do. Just run this campaign, and all the search terms go in all together. And yeah, it's hard to make that profitable. If you want to actually generate a lot of traffic. Right, you're gonna waste so much traffic, so much money. Sorry, and so yeah, I mean that was absolutely a mistake I made in the beginning. Not an intentional mistake. It's just I didn't know any better. It was just an ignorance mistake. You know what I mean? It took and learning to do it the way we do it didn't, come from within the high ticket dropshipping community either. There were no gurus around at that point who were teaching anything better than what I knew. It's literally, like you say, if you're listening in and you'd like to take the first steps towards building your own high-ticket dropshipping business, head to dropshipbreakthru.com/go, where we've got a free training waiting for you that's going to walk you through the first steps you need to take to start your own high-ticket dropshipping business, and I'm going to walk you through an actual example of what one of these businesses looks like. There's a famous YouTube video, a fella put it out there at a PPC Hero conference. I think it was in London. The dude was from the Netherlands, Holland, I think. And he worked for an agency that worked with e-commerce brands and things like that, I think. And so he presented it at that conference. I don't know if they still do PPC Hero conferences. It was a big thing back in the day anyway. It was a big conference. Yeah, I mean, that's where I picked it up and then adapted it to pretty much exactly to the high-ticket dropshipping space, and tweaked it a little bit for sure, but, that was a presentation at a conference. There was no course on doing it or anything like that. I just looked at his presentation and kind of worked it out. From there, I think his first name was Martin, maybe. I really can't remember.
I'm desperately trying to Google it over here while you're talking about it.
I should really be able to attribute that better as to where I originally picked it up from. I'll have to do a bit of research. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes if I find it. But so shout out to that dude, whoever you are, wherever you are. That was a long time ago now. Yeah, so I mean that was I don't remember exactly when, but I want to say it was during 2015, which at some point, I could be wrong. And I think you and I came to it independently of each other. To be honest, too. And
Yeah, we came together
at some point we were doing the same thing.
Yeah, we came together. I was teaching it one way. I built the whole course, and like right as I got done creating the course, which by the way, if you ever want to learn something, teach a course on it. You'll learn it way more than you ever did before. And right as I published it, I was like, oh shit, we're doing this wrong. And I stumbled on that same video, and I was like, I called it the inverted funnel because I was teaching it the other way now. And then I was like, it took a while to help our co-founder come along. We owned a business together at the same time, and I was trying to. This is clearly better, and he was all worried. We're going to mess up what we had going, and ended up being the right way. And we talked a lot. We mentioned it on a previous podcast of like shortening the learning curve. Like all of our students are going way faster than you and I ever went. This is one of the big reasons why. It's just getting this right out of the gate. Like you're not wasting. We wasted a lot of ad spend back in the day, my friend. Running to one campaign, all the keywords were in there and hoping for the best. And even when I learned the funnel backwards, which kind of worked, still wasting a lot of money. Now, running it this way, you can kind of really hone in on the keywords that you want. You can still show up for all the ones that Google wants you to, but you can pay whatever you choose. You can really lower your bids in that high priority and get it down there before you potentially you could break the funnel if you got too low, if you got down to 1 cent or 5 cents or whatever. But at 10 cents, you're not breaking the funnel, and you're saving a lot of money. And it really shortens the curve. I do hope we can take people even further, because this brought people from rather than starting at 0, they're starting at 7. And if we can get them to 10 at some point by doing some of the advanced stuff, I think that's going to be really, really fun. I do think I found this, by the way. Martin Rotegirding?
That's it. Yeah.
I found the YouTube video. We'll have to put it in the show notes for everyone.
Yeah. Send it over. I might watch it again just for laughs. I haven't watched that in 8 or 9 years or something.
Nike. Does he say Nike as well?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
It was a joke. I made this joke at the live event about Nike, or Nike as John calls it. No one laughed. I'm disappointed. I hate when your jokes don't resonate. Anyway, second mistake is waiting to start SEO. I took years to start it. Years. I didn't even know what to do. No one was teaching it at that point, and that's when I partnered with Corey Eckert, who at the time was obsessed with it. He was into Brian Dean very much, and into some other big names in the spaces. 2017. And I wasn't until I saw results where I was like, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense. Because before that, it kind of seemed like this black box. SEO seemed very mystical, magical even. Some people got it and most people didn't. And when I watched him do it, when I watched him rank a page for us and saw the traffic come in and saw the conversions start coming in, that really lit a light switch for me. It flipped a switch of oh, I need to learn this. And then I just became obsessed with it at that point. And it has been easily the biggest driver of revenue in any business I've ever been a part of when you actually put in the work here. So hopefully by us saying this, that gets other people to start sooner. Because I waited way too. I didn't do it in my first business. I didn't do it in my second or third business, really. And I learned it at the tail end of my third business. And so when I partnered on that fourth business, that's when I actually started this stuff. And that was 4 years down the road of into this journey and, doing pretty well with Google Ads. But this was a big, big lever for me to pull once I learned it.
Yep. Yeah, easily. It's the same for me. I'm just I think back to my first couple of businesses I was in, and I'm just oh, fuck. I wish I still had that business because I didn't do this at all, and they did okay. And imagine if I did this and how much better it would have been. And could I go back in time and just have that back again and do it? Do the SEO work right from very early on. Oh man, yeah. It's just seems so obvious. But once again, it was back then it was an ignorance thing, right? Nobody was talking about it in the e-commerce space. At that time when we started, SEO was going kind of through its not sexy phase. These days, I think it's nice. SEO is sexy again, I think, in a lot of spaces. But there was a period there where nobody was really talking about it, where it was kind of it's all paid ads. It's paid ads, paid traffic. Because at that point, paid traffic was super cheap compared to what it is now, right? And it was kind of like an easy button flipper. Facebook ads were new for a lot of businesses, and they were dirt cheap when they were first new, and all of this sort of thing. And that's kind of changed now. Now people are flipping back to SEO because it's seems like a more cost-effective thing to do, which it always was, right? And a massive impact thing. But no one was talking about it in the high-ticket dropshipping space, that's for sure. I would say almost nobody is still talking about it now other than us, and definitely nobody teaches it right other than us. There's some people who think they teach it right. I can tell you they don't, or not as good as it should be. I was even looking at one of our competitors who does like a content marketing offer. One of their students who bought this package reached out to me and like shared their website, and I looked at the content on their website and it was just fucking dog shit. Like, and this person's charging like thousands and thousands for this service. I'm not going to say who it is, but like the content was not even SEO optimized. Like the topics of the blog posts and stuff, it was just fucking like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, it's niche relevant, but like this ain't ranking for a single thing that has any point to ranking. Like, it was just way off the mark. And the content wasn't really that good either, like from a quality perspective. But I was just like, holy shit. Anyway, the person who bought it's not very happy. I'm going to say that. But, you know, I mean, but it still boggles me. Like, this is the case in 2024. Like, people still don't have even close to this stuff right, who are purporting to be experts. When it is such a fundamental traffic strategy for a high-ticket dropshipping business. And I'm glad that, you know, we've got your content in the course now and it's really good, you know. But yeah, massive mistake for me. I mean, start SEO from day one. Like, start learning, start doing the work. That's the best thing one of the best things you can do for your business.
I think, you know, to keep your story going, people recently, like as this is coming out, are redeclaring SEO dead, right? Like affiliate sites got slammed. E-commerce actually got this huge boost. There's never been a better time for your e-commerce business to be doing SEO than right now. I've never found it easier to rank some of the pages that really move the needle. And so, I don't know. Waiting to start that sucks. That's definitely a mistake I made. But right now, if you're sitting in that same boat going, I haven't really started either, start right now. Like, this is the renaissance of e-commerce SEO, and it's going well. I did find that video, like I mentioned, John. I'll put it in the show notes below if you want to check that out. The third mistake, you kind of put this in here, John. I think we both kind of touched on this in some ways. Where do you want to start with it? It's kind of a mishmash of a mistake, but they all kind of blend together here.
Oh, they do. So I kind of put it in our little topic sheet as like mindset / personal health. And I don't know what the right word is for it. It's definitely mindset. Like how you think and what you think, supported by what state your physical being is in, are critical to your success in business, and particularly to your longevity in business and your ongoing success. And I think when I first started, where I came from in life, how I was brought up, all of that sort of thing, this wasn't even something you talked about. And particularly probably, I mean, I don't know what it's like for a woman. I'm not a woman. But as a man in Australia, you definitely don't talk about this shit, right? You don't talk about how you feel. You don't talk about what you're thinking. Like, that's just not what a man does. That's like the 80s upbringing, right? And so when I came to business, I thought that, you know, talking about mindset and all this sort of stuff, it was just woo-woo crap. I don't need that. I'm good. You know what I mean? That was kind of my mindset, which was completely fucking wrong. And if you're sitting there thinking that, it means you definitely have mindset stuff to work on. That's actually probably the biggest indicator that you've got work to do, because you're denying the fact that you do, right? And hand in hand with that, I think, was the physical health. I think, not to say that I've ever been a super unhealthy person, but certainly my physical health has gone like this over my adult life. It's come and gone. I was very, very healthy and fit as a child, but through my adult life, it's come and gone with all the various things you go through in your adult life. And I think when I came to business, it was probably at one of its lower points, which was probably, I think, a symptom of being in a state in life that I didn't like, you know, working long hours, commuting long hours, not seeing my family. You know, I wasn't happy at that point. And I think that was flowing into how I looked after myself, and then getting into, which was obviously the reason I got into business, was to try and change that dynamic. And I think my approach to my physical health at the time was to allocate as much time to it as I needed to, and kind of like say I'm going to defer that. I'm going to get successful and then I'm going to put time into that. Do you know what I mean? I think that's kind of like what my mindset was, and I think that was a very big mistake. Once again, I think that hurt me. Your physical health and your mindset are strongly related. Like how and what you think is very much influenced by like how well the biology and the chemistry of your body functions, right? I mean, you are a symptom of your hormones and your neurotransmitters and all of that sort of thing, which is very influenced by what you eat, how much you sleep, physical exercise, all of these sort of things. And so putting time towards those things in the beginning is going to make you more successful, even if that means taking a little bit of time away from other things in your life, or taking a little bit of time away from your business. Seems a little bit counterintuitive to some people, I think, but absolutely, if I could change something, that would be something I would change. Like if I could go back with what I know now, that is probably along with the SEO thing, this is probably the biggest thing I would have done differently. I would go back and do the work mentally. I would also have been more intentional about getting myself physically right. Probably sleep would have been the biggest thing for me, one of the biggest things, but it's a little bit different for everybody for sure. Everybody's in a different place on this stuff when they start, but you've just got to recognize how important it is and then do something about it.
Yeah, I went the other way, I think. I was really, really deep into Mike Dolce. He's the most prolific guy who helps UFC fighters make weight. He understands the human body very, very well. He's all about real food, eat real food every 2 to 4 hours based on what you just did or what you're about to do. That has to do with like when you intake carbs, but basically just eat real food. That's it. And I lost a bunch of weight. Like I got to my lowest weight in a long time. I think it was like 235 or 240, like looking really good. And then I found business and got obsessed, like absolutely obsessed. And I ballooned up to 400 pounds. My marriage fell apart. My body fell apart, and I got obsessed, and I didn't spend enough time on me. Thankfully, I'm halfway back down, working my way back through there. But I did not make health a priority for a very long time. I just really wanted to get out of the pain I was in, which had to do with finances really, and knowing I was capable of something more, and I just grew on. I went really, really hard. And now I'm paying the price on the health side and like working your way back, not paying the price, but like, man, life would be a lot easier if I had focused for a long, long time. And same with the mental health. It took me till 2019 to end up at a mastermind where we spent 2 days crying instead of focusing on business, and it ended up being the right thing for me at the right moment. And that was 4 years into my journey, 4.5 years into my journey before I found the mindset stuff. So I'm glad we make that forefront. I don't know how we put the health stuff more forefront in our business the same way we do mindset stuff, but I do think that's something we should do because it is so important. And I think if you're listening to this and you've got a head start on running ads the right way by doing them the way we teach in the course, getting started on SEO because you just kind of want Ben and John to shut up about it enough for you to get started, and working on your mindset, working on your personal health, like you're going to be so much further ahead than John and I ever were. Thanks for listening to the Dropship Podcast. You can find all the show notes for this episode at dropshippodcast.com. And if you're ready to take the next step in your dropshipping journey, we invite you to join us inside Dropship Breakthru, where John and I will walk you through step by step in starting your own high-ticket dropshipping e-commerce business. But that's not all. Dropship Breakthru will also teach you everything you'll need to know to grow your business and take it to the next level. So head over to dropshipbreakthru.com and sign up for our free training that will help you take the first steps towards building and growing your own profitable high-ticket dropshipping business.